campaign countdown. We're Wicked Publishing, Michael and Matt here. Hey guys.
Hey, how's it going, people?
We're joined today by a couple of really awesome creators who have a new comic out on Indiegogo right now. Creators Scott and Druzel. Drew, welcome, guys. How's it going?
Good to be here.
Yeah.
So, you guys are on Indiegogo now. How's it going there?
So far so good. Last I
Nice.
checked, we were at 11%.
Nice, man. Launch day. Going
With
well.
5 backers. So yeah, hopefully we can keep that momentum and just knock this thing out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's awesome to see you guys come back and you've reworked the team, and it's good to see you stay on the team as well, Drew. I'm glad to see that you're doing cover and concept work. That's really awesome. Yeah, it's cool. And how has it been for both of you working with the new team member? What's his name again?
Emilio.
Amelia. How's it been working with Amelia?
He's very good at what he does, and he's very quick about doing it too, which is nice.
Yeah, that was one of the main things, after the Kickstarter failed, I had just a very honest conversation with Scott. I was like, listen, it's not that I don't want to do this, but I just don't think I am experienced and fast enough to be able to, keep this affordable, keep this within like a time frame of being able to deliver on time. I think we should maybe look for someone who knows what they're doing. And of course I was totally worried that I was gonna like break Scott's heart, and he's gonna be like, I don't want you to be involved in the project anymore. But he was very understanding, and as we started kind of looking around at new artists, and I'm super happy with Emilio's work. I think it's fantastic. It's always really cool to like do the concept art and design the characters, and then see him just like how he takes it. It's really cool.
No, that's awesome. It seems like it's a really collaborative effort among the three of you.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. It is great because Drew does a really good job of kind of getting in my head and getting what I want out of the characters. And with Emilio, there is a bit of a language barrier. So just being able to show him like, draw this character is a lot easier than trying to like describe them to him in simple terms that translate well.
Interesting. Yeah, where is he from?
He's from Argentina.
Oh wow. Okay, nice. That's interesting. How'd you first start working with him and talking with him?
So after we started, so one of the first conversations we had after we decided, where Druzel was going to fit into, the new team, we started talking back and forth. What about this artist? What about this artist? And we had some ideas, but then, the whole Wicked team kind of got behind us and started, putting out feelers for us. And, I met some really cool artists that way. Some wanted to work with me, then decided they didn't. Some were really good. They just didn't quite have the style I wanted. And it's a very difficult process of being told no, but also having to tell people no, which is my least favorite part.
Yeah, that's tough.
But he eventually came along and just, nailed it out of the park of what I was looking for. And we just started working with him from there. And
he's wicked fast. Like, I can't get over how fast he works. It's
really?
Crazy.
Wow. That's
I distinctly remember like one day Scott sent me some sketches that he had done for panels, just to see, like, he was like, hey, does this everything look good to you, for panel layouts? And I was like, yeah, that looks great. And like, that was like earlier in the day. And then by the end of the day, the page was done. And I was like, holy crap. Like, see, Scott, this is why we needed someone who knows what they're doing.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah.
What was the other thing is I gave him the first page because that was one of the ones Drew had done. And he had it back to me, like, fully lettered in 4 hours. And I was just like, damn.
Wow. So the lettering as well?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he does the whole package. The lettering, the shading, the coloring, Like I just tell them what I want, and the page comes back 100% done.
It's always good
pretty
to have
cool.
that. Yeah.
Like Scott basically sent me the script, and I went through and kind of divided it out into pages. Like I think these panels would fit well together on this page, you know, and kind of took it a little step further of like, okay, here's the script. Let's put it into pages and not just panels. And then once it was divided into pages, we sent basically the page scripts over to Emilio, and he did his magic.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
and that's another step that Drew helps me with. Is she's got storyboard experience, so she knows how to break it down a lot better than I would.
Nice. Make it nice and easy for him to be able to understand what you need on the page. That's cool.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he came along right when we needed him, and Drew almost predicted the future in needing him because her schedule has just been insane ever since.
Oh, goodness, yeah, life has definitely thrown me for a loop. So I'm definitely glad that I took a step back and took a little less responsibility in the project, because I would have felt horrible if, like, you know, I didn't have the time to really dedicate to this that it deserved. But yeah, so it all worked out. It's all going pretty well, and I'm super excited with, you know, the fact that Emilio works so much faster. He's able to, the pages were able to get the cost down that way, and we also, you know, went through the script and were able to consolidate it into less pages than we originally, you know, estimated. So getting that cost down, you know, we have a goal that we think is really, you know, manageable, and we're really hoping this time that it all works out. And I'm optimistic.
Nice. Yeah, I think you guys have a really good goal to achieve here, because it seems like it's pretty reasonable, and I think you guys can get to it. You guys
Yeah,
made more than that last time, didn't you?
about 100 and some change more.
Yeah. So
So
yeah, I would think definitely. And who knows, maybe
hopefully
reach
we
your
get
stretch goals, man.
hopefully we get the same backers again, and additional as well. Especially since we've got a lot more to show. We've definitely, you know, kind of showed our stuff on this one a lot more than we did on the Kickstarter. So hopefully that's grabbing attention. I definitely saw a big uptick on just feedback and retweeting on our first day alone, and a lot of positive stuff. Like a lot of people really like the concept. So I'm hoping that this time we've got it nailed down, and that really goes into what I wanted to do after that first campaign is really bring the goal down. I think that was one of the big mistakes I went going into it is having too little and just reaching too far.
Mm-hmm.
And I was playing around with other ideas, but Emilio was a big factor in bringing that page count and cost down to what we have now.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's good to see. Like Brett says, it's good to see the project has been more streamlined.
Yeah, we definitely took what we took the lessons learned from the Kickstarter and found a way to make it better. So
leaner and meaner, that was my motto.
Nice.
Well, hey, you always got to learn from your mistakes, right?
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
true.
It was funny as someone commented the other day about you keep failing, but you keep going. You're braver than me, and I was like, I see what you're saying, but I haven't felt like I've really failed yet. I think that comes when I give up, but I definitely try to fall forward, is what I said, because I'm still gaining progress if I'm moving in a forward direction.
Nice. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, no, that's a good way to look at it. And now, Drew, how have you been settling into your new roles, and how have you been adjusting to that?
I'm personally like pretty excited doing, you know, concept art and story planning. That's really what I like to do. So I'm very in my element, and
Oh, okay.
so I'm I'm excited, and like I said, like just aspects of my personal life have just been very busy lately, so it's definitely nice to have a little less of a like intensely critical everyday role like working on the pages would be, since things are a little uncertain and just crazy. So I can still provide the project the support and the love that it needs, but I I don't feel as worried about if something suddenly happens that I'm not going to be able to provide it that like being a page artist would. So it's going to be good. I'm feeling really good about this, and I was so excited. I was so worried when I told Scott that I thought the best choice would be to find a different artist. I was so worried he was going to like irrationally so. Like I'm realizing after the fact I just got myself worried for nothing. But I was like, oh, what if he doesn't let me be on the project anymore? Because I really do think it's an awesome project, and I'm really excited to see how it turns out. Because to be completely honest, I don't know how it ends. Like Scott's definitely told me more than he's told everybody else, I think, but I still don't know what happens. So I want to know what happens.
Wow. Keeping all the secrets to yourself, huh, Scott?
Actually, you and Matt are the only ones that I think know the ending.
You keep that a secret.
I think you might have already forgotten. Matt might still know.
I think I might have forgotten, but
Damn,
No
you
one
caught
knows
me.
the
maybe.
ending then.
No one
Maybe.
knows, but hopefully
Maybe.
Scott hasn't forgotten. As long as you remember, I think we're good.
I've got it written down just in case,
Okay.
but my memory's pretty good. But that's good that you guys forgot, because then you'll be surprised.
Exactly. No spoilers,
Mhm.
But yeah,
Um,
I'm really comfortable with Drew taking that position, because one of the things that I was always worried about is her leaving the project. So when I kind of started getting the hint that she might be hinting at that, I was like, no, 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 no. But I'm glad that she stuck around, and where she's at now. Like she said, she's in her element, and she's a lot more stable to see the whole thing through, which I'm excited about.
That's excellent. Yeah. Now, do you mind if we
Also,
take a look at the campaign
well, I was
while you
going to
explain
add
that?
one more thing. She's been so busy lately. I think this is the longest conversation we've had for like 2 or 3 months.
Nice, man. So we'll have to do this more often. Well, that will wrangle her down and get you in here.
Things have been busy. I moved to a new apartment. There's a lot of crazy stuff been going on.
That's fair. Yeah, moving is always really
All the
tough.
details, but sometimes
Right,
life,
right.
as people say, just shit hits the fan, and you're just like, oh my goodness.
Oh boy. Well, I hope it's settling down for you
I think it
these days.
finally is. Like I sent a message to Scott, I think last week, and I'm like, I think it's finally over. I think things have finally settled down, and I'll actually be able to like talk to you again.
Nope.
No. Well, you just have faith, Scott. Just have some faith.
It's got to be done by the end of the month. Like the end of this month has to be the last bad month. It has to be.
Nice. Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's
Yeah.
soon. I keep telling myself it's just for the summer. As soon as like the fall equinox happens and it switches over. It's a new season. It's not going to be bad anymore.
You got Halloween on the way. I mean, how could it
It's
be bad,
true.
right?
Yep.
But no, that's good. I'm glad you're looking on the positive side of things.
Oh, for
That's
sure.
always
Yeah.
good. So yeah, let's go take a look at the campaign here. I'll share the screen, not scare the screen. Man, I'm really thinking Halloween here. Apparently, let's see, Wrath.
Hey,
Maybe it's yeah, it's almost time. Maybe it's almost a season, and maybe it's because of Wrath, having Wrath on the mind. It definitely puts you in the mood for some Halloween, for some good old horror or supernatural. Now we have the campaign up here, and I actually wanted to kind of branching off of that comment. Actually, I wanted to bring up this image here because I've seen a lot of people getting a little bit of a Scooby Doo vibe. Did you get any vibes like that, or are they reading too much into it?
No, like a little bit. Like now that you
I
mention
didn't
it,
notice it until you said it, and now I can totally see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't kind
I
of see
love
the
it,
Scooby-Doo
honestly.
element.
I think
only
that's
the
cool.
rage puppy's a lot more badass than Scooby.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, you're not gonna catch the rage puppy
I
eating
don't know,
snacks.
man. I've never seen a dog be able to eat an entire fridge full of food.
Have you
So
have you ever seen a dog be able to eat an entire human? because that's a whole
This
nother
one might
level.
be able to.
Yeah, don't tempt it. That's
Yeah,
for
right.
sure. Oh man, that's funny. I thought that was an interesting comparison. You know, just the vibe of the art and stuff. It definitely has a really cool, unique style to it.
Yeah, Emilio's stuff looks really
Ah,
cool.
oh,
It's
this
like
is
I said,
good.
like every time I see a character that I initially, I did all these character designs at first, and then I think
Right.
whenever he first sent me this image that's like the header image, I was like, whoa, that's really cool. Like these characters that I designed, it's really cool to see them like taken into this style that it's just, if I'm being completely honest, I can't do it. So it's nice. It's really neat to see.
Yeah, it's interesting because as from a writer's perspective, we always talk about how cool it is to see our words become art, but it must be a similar feeling to how you feel seeing your art be translated into someone else's perspective of art, their own
Yeah, for sure.
style.
There's so many crazy different styles out there, and
Mm,
I mean that was one of the things when Scott and I were looking through all the different artists. It's just like there were so many neat styles, and I'm like, ooh, this person's style could be really cool because we definitely wanted someone whose style lended itself to the fact that it's a bit of a darker, spookier story. So
mm,
someone whose style is maybe a little darker, a little edgier, a little less cutesy,
yeah.
would work better for the project. And we're comparing people back and forth. That was something that came up. So I love Emilio's stuff. Like you will probably hear me say that multiple times during this stream.
Well, that's good.
The,
That's awesome. Yeah.
I will bring up that most people could hit like nail Doug and Nicole, but like everyone seemed to have trouble with the Rage Puppy. Like
Really?
even
Wow.
Emilio, like this was like his original concept work, but I had him go in after I worked with him and we reworked his design and replaced
Really?
it. But his was just like that's close enough. We can work with that.
Now
And
I wanted to.
he definitely nailed the sort of like a little bit human, a little bit creaturey, like the kind of like the hands are not super paw like, which is like what I was totally going for when I first designed it. So it's like I love like
Mm.
Scott was keeping me updated with all of the art that was coming out of Amelia, and I was just like, this is also good. Like I had a couple pointers, a couple things. I'm like, they could tweak that, but for the most part, it was just like pretty right on the money.
Yeah, you're
The
right. The hands
secret
are so cool. Yeah.
the secret is they're technically Spidey fingers.
Spidey fingers. What do you mean?
Like
Oh,
if
I
you
think
looked at
they
him
kind of
like
what you would see in Spider-Man.
yeah,
If you were
that's
looking
how he
at
originally did
how
that.
Spider-Man puts his hand out.
Oh yeah.
And I said that's good, but like he needs claws. So then he gave me two different versions of the claws, that one and then one that looked like he'd been to the salon. So we went with that one.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't catch that. But that's an interesting nod. But I like how it's just the front ones. You keep the back ones a little more animalistic.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was definitely the blend. And
And that
we've
was in
kind of
your.
hinted.
Sorry, was that
Hmm?
in your design then? Original design then, Drew?
Yeah, so I
It
definitely
was
wanted the original design kind of be like a little more human in the front, like almost like it might get up and start walking, but not quite.
Wow.
Kind
It's
of
not
Yeah.
like
there
you would
yet.
see. I get the vibe of kind of like you could say werewolf, but it's kind of more of an amalgamation of what we consider a real wolf and then a human. In a sense,
Hmm.
that's what I see. It's not a werewolf, but it's kind of like a man wolf in a sense.
Which is.
Wolf.
And that's so perfect for horror and supernatural because it's that slightly thing that slightly off. It's not quite what you expect to see, and so it throws you for a loop a little bit when you see it, which is so cool. I think,
Hmm.
especially when you see it for the first time, you realize, oh wait, those aren't quite right, are they? That doesn't look exactly like a wolf. So yeah, I
and
thought that was fun.
and we have hinted that this is just kind of like the subconscious form. When he gets the hang of his power, it's going to take on a different appearance that's going to be more similar to Doug's own body type. But Drew and I have been toying with keeping some of the like wolf-like features onto that, or just some sort of creature type features on it.
And Brett in the
I
chat
could see that.
says, I always did have the vibe that Wrath had a horror edge to it. It may not be a pure horror story, but the elements are there.
There's definitely some scary stuff going on, whether you'd consider it, a horror story or just elements of it, definitely.
Mhm.
But it is
Yeah,
it is
that's
not
interesting.
it's not
To
safe for
me,
the
it
little
seems.
ones.
Yeah, I would definitely say that it's probably more teen to young adult in every genre, but to me it seems more of like you could say more of like a psychological horror in a sense, because you're not necessarily sure of what's going on to begin with just around the creature itself.
Yeah, that's
that.
something that I think I have it nailed down, because originally, like, I had the idea, but I wasn't really sure what I wanted it to exactly be. I think I have that nailed down now. And I think that's what's going to play into how it looks, how it feels, and how it performs. But there is definitely, some horror. There's going to be some more horror aspects to it, some suspense and some thrills in there. But it's not probably going to hit until about 3. This issue is the origin story. It's going to be pretty dark. But the second one, you're going to get more of the dynamic between Doug and Nicole and their friendship, and the humor they kind of find in each other as well. So it's not going to be as dark, but the third one is definitely going to get back onto the pace of the first one.
Yeah, no, that sounds cool. Yeah. Is it kind of Neostar says urban horror? Would you say that's kind of a similar element too, as well?
Not
Not really what you're going for, maybe.
not like splashes here and there would probably be the best. The hard thing I have about pinning Wrath down to like one genre is it's like influenced by a lot of different things.
Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, so there's a lot of elements of different genres going on throughout this story, which is, I guess, that's probably why you go to Supernatural, because Supernatural does encompass a lot of different stuff. Supernatural can have horror, it can have suspense, it can have a lot of different things.
I've actually answered this before, Brett, so I don't mind talking about it again. No, there is going to be an opposition.
An opposition. That sounds adversarial. So well, without spoiling too much, is maybe someone who might not be on this agree with everything Doug's doing, perhaps?
Exactly. Like the thing with Doug, and like a lot of people, I think, are going to be a little bit surprised, is that he's a pretty gentle and calm guy. He doesn't really want to hurt anybody. So you see, like you'll see when he attacks the guys, how that turns out, and how he reacts when he kind of realizes what happens. And that's what kind of drives him to control the power, is because he doesn't want to like wake up every morning and find out he's mauled somebody to death. So that's what's pushing him forward there, until he starts to realize that something else is going on around him, that he might be the only one that can deal with it.
And so that mystery is kind of what starts driving him forward in the first couple issues.
Yeah. Once you start getting into 3.
Nice. And will we get to see some of Doug and Nicole's friendship in the first issue?
You see a little bit at the beginning, and you're gonna see it the next day.
Sorry, you say the next
Because
day?
You'll see a little bit, when Doug wakes up the next morning, and kind of sees the aftermath of what he thought was a dream or some sort of weird sort of thing, that he's just like, oh man, and then he starts to realize, and after all this, he sort of realizes, like, I don't think I should tell or can tell or anyone would believe me except Nicole. So, we get to see her sort of initial reaction, but a lot of their interactions about like what to do next is issue 2.
Exactly.
Issue 1
And
goes
how they
well, then you'll figure it out.
That's right. Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah, I think the aspect of Doug and Nicole's friendship is a really cool part of the story, kind of this interconnected story that they share.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the things that kind of steers Doug in a good direction. Is his family stabilizes? He's got a good friend that keeps him, making good choices, and that's why you're gonna get that kind of personality out of Doug. And then I'll also explore the flip side of that as well.
Now, where does Doug live? Do you have a like a real world setting or a fictional setting that you use?
There is no disclosure. The first panel explains that he doesn't want to reveal any real names or places.
Oh wow, keep it. So okay, interesting. It's got that's a kind of a cool twist there. So is it like a small town then? Would you describe it as a
Yeah,
bit of a
it's
small town?
definitely like small town somewhere. There is a woods, a river, but I mean that could
Definitely, as you
be.
can also see, like a little bit of suburbia, like a
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
little bit of subdivisions and stuff like that. So it's meant to be someplace that you've seen before, but almost like someplace like I don't know if you've seen those photos. That's like you see a photo and you're like that could be anywhere in the United
Oh
States.
yeah,
Yeah,
That
yeah.
sort like we
it's
want to make sure that it sort of has that vibe, almost kind of out of time, out of place, but at the same time you know exactly where it is. Or someplace just down, the highway that's like that.
kind of like Springfield in The Simpsons.
Nice. Or what's that black and white movie where they turns to color at the end of it? I don't know if you've seen that one. It's like
Oh, what is
Pleasantville.
that? Pleasantville,
Pleasantville, I
yeah.
think.
Yeah. It's like it's your everyday America. Your yeah, every town in America. I like that. That's a cool way to look at it. And so this kind of a setting, it kind of probably plays into the story and the kind of certain things that play out.
Yeah, there are definite like features about the town that I want to use and that I kind of have to establish as the story goes along.
Now, this isn't necessarily a question, but it is a good, interesting point. Brett brings up in the chat, Doug may be a chill guy most of the time, but he strikes me as a guy with some deep-seated anger issues, like when he loses cool, run for the hills. What do you think?
Yeah, it is going to be something that, like I said, he's had a pretty good and established life, but that is something that is going to start pulling him in a different direction, and he's going to have to start confronting it and learning to deal with that, or maybe he will lose control. That's definitely part of the story. Is will he control his anger, or will his anger end up controlling him?
Interesting. Yeah, and how he handles that will be what we see him tackling going forward.
And yeah, I think that's something that we all deal with.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's for sure. I think I know I can relate to that. I'm sure a lot of the viewers can as well. Is you always want to try and control that anger, but it's not always easy to do that. And that's
Definitely
that
not.
rage puppy. That's always coming at you, man.
Like
Which I
that
think
guy
is
that won't let you on the freeway. Just cuts you
right.
right off. Why is he
Oh
doing
yeah.
that?
We all know that one. Hey, he just cut me off. Why did he do that? He saw me with my blinker on. But it's like at the same time, it's like you don't necessarily know what's going on and why he's did that, and it could be that same issue, like he's dealing with the built up inner rage and the anger, and so I think it's that complex and interesting question about it. Just I mean, it goes back to the title of wrath, and how do people handle that? So I think that's really cool that you guys are trying to tackle such a real topic,
Yeah,
through your work at the same time as while telling a good story.
And it's not something, and this is, like personal, is when you handle subject matter like that, and I think a lot of modern storytelling is losing this art, is, to me, great storytelling makes you think about a topic and makes you come to your own conclusions. And it seems like a lot nowadays is it's just kind of hammered into you. And
True.
it even if it's something I agree with, it still feels like I'm being told something instead of like considering and coming to it on my own, and it's my own idea.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, and it's a lot. I think you're right. I think audiences are sick of being told what to think instead of being presented with ideas and, like you said, coming up with their own thoughts about it. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the whole like show don't tell in a sense, you know. I mean, a lot of people hate being told what's going on instead of seeing what's going on. And not only that, when you put that with themes, I mean, you could really apply it to the same thing because a lot of people like to kind of know what the theme is, but go to explore that theme themselves instead of just, okay, here's just all this dialogue explaining what the theme is, and here you go. And then it's like, you feel a little lackluster with that.
Like,
Yeah,
where are you left with? Yeah.
the big idea that I wanted with this whole story is I wanted to capture hearts and minds, um, with the story, and being relatable, and something that everyone can kind of dig into, and give their own feedback, or even their own personal experiences when they talk about it or share it with their friends.
Well, I can say that I think you have accomplished that, and so I'm excited for everyone to get to see this. And so we have the campaign page up here, and you have laid out a number of awesome perks and tiers for people to check out. So why don't we take a look at that and start going through that? So we started off with a digital copy, $5 at the digital copy. So is that going to be a PDF document, or how are you guys going to get that out to people?
I believe that's how we usually send those, Wicked Wise, right? Is a PDF.
Yeah, that's what we usually like to do. Yeah.
Yeah, then I think we'll stick with that format.
Nice. Yeah, it's always good. It's easily consumable, and people can put it on whatever device they want to read it on. Then moving on to the next one, we have the standard copy. Now, what is the image we're seeing there?
So this is actually brand new work that Drew just finished in the nick of time. And this is something we didn't have with the Kickstarter page, which is the standard issue cover. And Drew did a really good job. Once again, she kind of got in my head and knew what I was thinking, and what kind of themes I like to play with when it comes to the story. To the point where like she was even pointing out stuff like, "Oh, I really like this," and I'm like, "That's something I really like to play with imagery." Like she pointed out there's a great contrast between light and dark.
It's on Scott's Twitter.
Sure, yeah. Let me see if I can pull that up.
We may add it to the campaign page in a bit. Scott is quite right when I was like adding the finishing touches, 2 days ago. So I'm sure, we just didn't have time to get everything completely updated yet.
Well, it looks amazing, and I think you guys nailed the aesthetic of it. Let's see here. Now, what can you tell us about some of the themes that you were mentioning there, Scott?
Yeah. So she actually pointed out that she really loved there's a contrast between the darkness and the light. There's a cone of light going out in front of Doug through his bicycle, but then there's like this shadow that comes out behind him. And that's like a big thing that I wanted to use image-wise, is like this whole struggle between light and darkness, especially like in ourselves. Yes, the Rage Puppy has some standby. It's just in the sense that it's got like a psychic connection.
That's it.
which
Yeah, it's interesting.
it's a little bit different, but there is some similarities. Like one of the things you are going to see is that if you hurt the rage puppy, which it is pretty resilient, that will reflect back on Doug.
Really? So
But
it's
he
not
doesn't.
like he's impervious, or as it's a 1-to-1.
He's tough, but you know,
He's not invincible.
that puppy's not invincible.
Oh wow! Oh, poor puppy.
And then
Wow.
he doesn't. He's got a lot more range than the stands do, and also the origin is completely different as well.
It seems like there's a little more mystery behind what's going on there in this
He
story.
said no music inspiration, 0 out of 10.
No music.
Well,
Wow. Hey, how do you know? For all we know.
he is pretty metal.
That is very true. And now, does Doug like music? Because that counts too. That'd
I haven't really explored that option. Maybe
be
maybe we'll
interesting.
get into that.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know what he listens to. If you had to just create something off the top of your head, what do you think would be like his favorite band?
That's a good one. I would say he's probably like a little bit more into like punk rock, so like maybe like Blink 182.
Nice.
That's some good, like because Doug's supposed to be around 19. Like that's definitely like Blink 182's like, you're 19, you're probably listening to Blink 182.
True. That's a good point.
Can't
Yeah.
speak for all 19-year-olds, but
But
that was how it
perfect
was at
timing.
my high school, at least.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that sounds about right to me.
But yeah, she was talking about like the light and shadow. The other thing that I like how it came out is, if you look at it, is the rage puppy is kind of like following him, kind of like things from like tragic things from our past are always like, they seem like they're like a couple steps behind us.
Wow. Yeah, that's a cool way to look at it.
Sort of just
I
emerging
really
from
like
his
the way
shadow.
it looks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I really like the way it looks. Kind of, I don't want to say a dichotomy or anything like that, because to me it's kind of more of like, it goes on with that supernatural feel that you never know what's behind you, in a sense.
Yeah,
So
there's also that.
more of an ominous feel, but at the same time, since some of us know like kind of what it's about in a sense, you kind of understand like what's going on right there. But even newcomers who will look at it and see the word rap, they'll be like, "Whoa, this is pretty interesting and different."
Also, kind of gives me vibes of like the Black Dog. If you ever heard that myth, kind of eerie vibes there, which is cool.
Mhm.
Obviously, it's not the same color, but just the idea of it all. It's almost like he's walking in the shadow, like you said. So
Yeah, that's definitely what I was trying to go for. Is it's almost kind of like emerging out of the shadow that he's leaving behind him, and the shadow isn't even like a perfect shadow. It's not meant to look like the exact shadow of the bike. It's supposed to look kind of inky and black, and like that's something that a creature could emerge out of.
wow.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you really nailed that, I think.
So Neo starts asking something here that I kind of want to address. This is just a cover piece, so it's not actually reflective of any events that are
Oh, I see.
particularly in the story. This was just kind of a neat little effect we wanted to portray for a cover.
So don't read too much into it, in other words.
Yeah, that's not really how the dynamics of his power work, where it can just kind of follow him around wherever he's going.
Right. Like you said, there's a little more range than a stand, so that's what I was kind of thinking, at least. But yeah, no, it's a really cool embodiment of the feel and the themes behind the comic, which I think is why it makes such a great cover.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree. And
still
Drew
definitely
did
needs to be proofed for print though, because anytime you print something with a lot of blacks, whoo boy, does that have to be proofed?
Really? Oh boy, we're definitely
Yep.
gonna have to, we'll
Yeah.
definitely get that
Yeah.
that then. Yeah. That's a good call.
I will definitely be pulling this into Photoshop to finalize it, but this is the version for web, and since everyone's going to
Okay.
be seeing it on the internet for now at least.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Print versus web, such a interesting world. I'm sure that y'all have dealt with that with some of your stuff.
A little bit, yeah. We're starting to learn the differences ourselves between the digital files and the print files and how it all works. It's a little more complicated than one might think. So is this so are you going to use this web version for the eventual digital PDF version, do you think? Or will be
Probably, yeah. The proofed version will just basically have some of the blacks. It's actually probably not going to look much different, but Photoshop actually has a really cool like process that you can do where you can basically. The problem was a lot of times when you have something that's really dark, when you print it, the paper just gets way too saturated and it just turns out a lot darker than you want it to. Photoshop has a way to like turn down the amount of print value in each color.
Oh,
So
wow.
blacks are, printed with a little less ink so they don't get super oversaturated and kind of bleed and run into everything else around them. It's actually
Wow.
something I only recently found out about because I was doing some printing, some stuff for myself, and I was like doing some research about the best way to get your best print quality, and found a thing online about proofing your prints in Photoshop, and it was a really neat, like, I did it with one of my darker pieces. I'm like, whoa, this is really cool. So
That is cool. That's amazing. I feel like anyone who's getting ready to come out with the comic should take a look and try and find out like some tutorials on that because it sounds really useful.
yep, I could
Uh,
definitely direct anyone who's interested. Just like send me a
nice.
DM or something. Of course, I just have a tutorial that I followed, so I can direct you to the tutorial.
That's cool. Yeah, there's you can always find great tutorials online, and that one sounds like I said sounds really cool. So nice. Well, I'm glad you're learning that because I would have no clue about that. That was a new one for me. Yeah. But no, this piece came out really great and could even be a print. Like it's a really good piece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we could.
The light, the
I've
dark.
talked to Scott a little bit about like taking either the covers or maybe some of even the single panel pages and doing like a maybe for the next if we get to make issue 2, maybe being able to do some poster rewards and stuff like that.
I think another great perk you guys might think about for the next one is I was looking at Doug's shirt and I was thinking Doug's shirt would be really cool. Like if you could buy Doug's shirt and you could have your own shirt like that.
That would be pretty neat.
Yeah.
Gotta do some research about clothing production.
I know I got a couple sites I can send your way. There's a Teespring is really cool. They have a really affordable and easy to use website, and so that might be something if you want to do it more mass production instead of like handmade. That usually
Yeah.
I think it cuts on cost. But yeah, I'll send you guys some stuff on that. But
That'd be awesome.
yeah, let's take a
We,
look at. Go ahead.
I did want to add as far as the possible prints now is we still have Drew's Fire Barrel full page that we could use for something like that.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Now let's go take a look back at the campaign again and check out some more of your tiers. Is that it? There we go. Excellent. So that's the standard copy. So that's the cover you get with the standard cover copy. Digital, and you also get the digital with the estimated shipping of February 2020.
Right, because for the other, because we've got 7 pages done now, so we estimate we need 28, and Emilio's agreed to like a 10-week deadline. So that
Nice.
should give us enough time to proof, print, and then ship by February.
Nice. Yeah, that'll give us amount of time as well to get it out. Yeah, because as you know, the print process can take some time.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might be a little bit luckier because we won't be like in the middle of convention season. So hopefully we get a quicker turnaround time too.
That's true. Yeah, that's quite possible. Now we have the signed variant with the $15 variant cover. Excuse me. Now this is the original one done by Drew.
Yeah, so definitely a different in style between the two covers. I wanted the variant to look very unique. I wanted it to match the style of the comic whenever I was doing it. So now it's going to be completely different style than of the comic, but it's definitely going to be two distinct different covers. And we didn't want them to look too similar in either style or content. But, you know, it's still both of them are Doug and his creature, this sort of light and shadow motifs, but two completely different takes on it. So
Wow. Yeah, that's really cool. I love to see that, you know. And I think
And
it works as great as a variant cover too.
we also have through the first story, his power awakens between him dwelling on his past while being faced with the current trauma. So that we kind of get those two things with the cover, where this the variant is the trauma from his past, and the standard is him writing to his current situation.
Okay, that's
which you
interesting.
get to see a little bit of a glimpse of with the pages we have, you know. Someone
Let's
wants
take a look
that
at some of
bike.
that. Yeah, we see here a page on the left, a preview of one of the pages here.
Yep.
This is kind of like the introduction of the characters.
Yep. So we have the first 6 pages
Oh,
to
nice.
read on the Indiegogo to pique some interest.
Nice. Yeah, in fact, I'll go ahead and plug the link now, just in case you guys want to donate during the stream. Please go check it out and check out what tiers you want. We're going through them right now with you. And so the next tier that we have is the one of each, $25. You get both the standard and the signed variant cover. Very cool. So that's if you want to get a little bit taste of both artists' rendition on the or actually same artist, two different takes. Now, how's that? How did that come about then with you doing the two different styles?
So like I said, I wanted back when I was, you know, how I was planning to do the style for the comic when I was doing the art for it. I wanted the variant cover to sort of match the style of the comic. But this time around, since the comic style is going to be completely different, I got Scott's permission to do something a little bit closer into line with the type of work I do for my illustration stuff. So
Wow,
yeah,
that is really cool. Yeah.
it kind of just worked out that way, you know. Like I can definitely do a variety of styles, both just in illustration and
Have you
also yeah.
have you done that four styles thing that has been going around
It's been going
lately?
around on Twitter. I've seen it. I've honestly just not sat down and tracked down four different images. But you know, I got 2 of them here, so
Right,
you can find
you're
the other.
getting
You
there.
can find the other 2 online.
Yeah, there you
You do the
go.
work.
Yeah. 2 styles plus 2, you go find the rest, right? That's cool. I do love seeing your different styles. I think it's so cool to see that. So I think that getting one of each actually that's a nice way to see both of those and get the different variant and the standard cover. That's cool.
Yeah, I see that a lot. That people, you know, they'll just put one of each, and then people usually request, well, what if I want one to like keep and then one to read?
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
Or, you know, or even just I want both covers.
Or even I could
So
even see you being like, oh, I want to give one to a friend, or I want to borrow one out to people, and I could
Pick
do the
the
other one for
cover you
myself.
like best and give the one that you don't like as much to
There you
somebody
go.
else. They're not gonna
Exactly.
know.
It's a genius plan.
like
And
chocolate and peanut butter, Jeremy Lot, 2 great tastes that go great together.
exactly. Now we have the Druzel sketch tier, which
Yeah,
this says
that was one of our more popular tiers when we did the Kickstarter. So we definitely wanted to bring that back.
nice. And can you explain a little bit about what that tier's about?
Yeah, so this tier you're gonna get, you know, the signed variant and the digital copy, but you're also going to get a sketch by me. So, in the style that you see there, that's the original concept sketches for Doug and Nicole. So it'll basically be a sketch like that, waist up of any character of your choice. Could be fan art, could be your own original character, could be you if you're feeling so inclined. Whatever you want, you'll get a sketch of your character in addition, and we'll probably get those. If you choose this tier, we'll reach out to you and get whatever your request is, and then try to have that to you around the same time that you get the digital copy.
Well, that's really fun. Yeah, I really like that, and it kind of gives you a chance to be part of it.
The best part is it's a digital art, so you can do whatever you want with it. You can print it out as a page, you can make stickers, whatever you want.
Poster, put it on your wall.
Yep.
Use it as your desktop background. You name it. Even whatever you want. That's awesome.
You could even go to Teespring, print your own T-shirt.
Nice, man. You get your own T-shirt of it. That'd be cool. That'd be a cool gift. So
you gotta buy your own
tier.
T-shirt though. We're not buying the T-shirt for you.
Yeah,
good point. Yeah,
you get the art.
Right.
You gotta pay for the supplies to do it.
That's as far as we go.
And don't resell it. Use it for yourself.
Yes, that is also a good point.
Don't use our campaign to get a design out of me and then create your own empire. That's not allowed.
Right. You got to be fair and
Personal
give credit
use.
where credit is due. Personal use only, people.
You gotta cut Drew in is basically what you're saying.
Cut me in. That'll work too.
Or if you are gonna sell it, exactly, start your empire, but let Drew know first, and get that 50% going at least. We got some deals going here. But so then now I believe the next tier is that a kind of building off? It's the Druzel illustration. Oh, there's more. There's the Druzel illustration tier. Ooh, what's this one like?
So it's gonna basically be instead of just getting a waist up sketch of your character, it'll be full color, full all the bells and whistles. So still, any character that you want, any fan art likeness of someone you like or something like that. Want to give your wife or husband a gift and say, hey, I got this artist to draw you. Whatever you want. But this version, if you're wanting to give us a little bit more money, give us a little bit more support, we'll give you a little bit more art, a little bit more refinement on the art process. So yeah, this one will be a full color illustration.
Now we do have 2 left. I know who got that first one, and I'm very curious what he has in mind for it.
Interesting.
Oh no, I don't like that.
I do. That sounds very intriguing. I can't wait to see once that one's. Hopefully, maybe if they decide to post it at some point in the future, we'll get to see that. But no, that's a fun tier. I really like the art tiers that you offer. I think they're really fun, and like I said, people are getting in on it and getting to see something that in your style that they get connect with. Now, and how does that? And so how do these all differ from each other? So we have another tier here, that's the cameo. Well, geez, I guess that explains it all, doesn't it? So when we say cameo, does that mean a cameo in the book?
Yep.
Correct.
So we've got a couple scenes where there are going to be some background characters. And so if you want to back us at the cameo tier, we will be getting a little likeness of you, or if you've got a comic of your own and you want your main character to make a cameo in the background. Obviously there may need to be some adjustments, as in this is a grounded in reality comic, so if you've got some crazy aliens or that sort of thing may need to be humanized or something like that, or we'll figure it out. We'll definitely work with you on how you want to do it. But yeah, so you see there, you got 2 lovely gentlemen who are good friends of Scott's who helped get this project off the ground. So they're going to be cameoed in as you can see, two cops that you're going to run into briefly in the first issue.
Yeah, those are some friendly looking officers there.
And you may even see them like in backgrounds of some of the other issues too. Whenever there might be like police in the area or something.
Well, it's funny.
Pop back up.
It's funny because they're only a cameo right now, but I already get the feeling they could become fan favorites. I just get that vibe from them.
I don't know them too well. They're Scott's friends, but I feel like telling them that might get to their heads.
Maybe just a little bit.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I was playing with the ideas if we ever start doing like the bigger conventions and one or both of them are in the area, like having them dress up as cops and make an appearance.
Oh, that'd be
funny.
awesome, man. What's funny about that is too is whenever I'm at a convention, I see like a cop. I always wonder, is that a real cop or is that just someone cosplaying as a cop? It's like, how would you know at a convention? I don't know. It's
But I
Cue the
did-
X-Files music.
exactly. The truth is out there.
I always did have fun because we were in a text message group talking about like the cameos, and whenever she'd send a sketch or the final version, I always loved like just screenshotting their comments and sending them to Drew just because they're just off the wall goofy.
I
Oh,
did
that's
like one.
funny.
It's like these look great, except for one of them looks the other whoever it was. I can't quite remember the names. It's like so and so looks too handsome. It was like, well, that's what he requested. He requested me handsome him up a little bit. So.
What was the other one? The one on the right, he was like, everything looks good except for his pants. He's not wearing Cran's pants, whatever that means.
Crayons fans.
Or what was the other
Did you do
great
some
one?
research on that one? And
I
get
didn't.
into that?
I have to ask him to clarify on that one.
Right,
The
might
other
have
one
to.
was the guy on the right is sufficiently suspicious on whatever I am telling him was another good one.
Yeah, he does have that look to him, doesn't he? Oh man, but no, yeah, I think that's a great one too. So this one is different from the sketch version in that you're getting a full color, but well, not just a full color; it's the actual cameo. So, this is similar to this one, but in this one you only get a sketch versus this one you actually get to be put in the comic or whatever character you want to be put into the comic.
Yep.
Right, and one thing I do want to point out, this was like a special deal we did for these two guys where they got the concept art by Drew. The cameo itself will actually be drawn into the pages, so it would be Emilio style.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that makes sense.
So,
Yeah.
so these two are, like I said, they're friends of Scott's who really helped us out. Just emotional and some financial support to get the comic off the ground. So this was our way of just saying, thank you to them, being the
Well,
first
that's
two
nice.
little cameos. But yeah, other cameos, you'll send us references of your character or photos of you, and we'll get those to Emilio, and he will pop you in there in one of the scenes, and you'll just have to wait and get your comic to figure out where you are. It'll be like,
Nice. That'll be
where's
fun.
Waldo, but for yourself.
Seriously. How cool is that? That's like it's like an Easter egg just for you.
Yep.
Like, I mean, that's pretty amazing. How often do you get to read a comic and get an Easter egg just for you? Not too often, I don't think.
I did want to point out just a little bit more about how this came to be. One of the challenges we were facing after the Kickstarter is we were kind of out of runway financially. So one of the nice things that I kind of picked up from that failed Kickstarter is I know who backed me and how much they were willing to back. So I could actually approach them with like, hey, you were willing to do this before. How do you feel about backing me before I fund again so I can, fill in some of these gaps I'm missing? And then I kind of came up with some creative ideas to kind of give them something back, even if like it doesn't work out this time.
Oh yeah, okay. That's nice. Yeah, that was a kind of like a pre-crowdfunding almost.
Yeah, a little bit, and it's something that I was always kind of hesitant. Like that's why I never really wanted to do like a flexible goal. I don't really want to use people's money unless I can deliver on it. So that was a little bit tough for me to do, but I think it's working out well in the end.
Yeah, I think that was a good call. Yeah,
because you kind of have to take those risks if you want to, move forward sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna pay off for you guys in this situation here. Now, the art kind of has a little bit of a manga influence. Does he take inspiration from manga at all?
He's done several different comics, and from what I can tell, like he never does the same thing twice. It seems like he actually has.
Cool.
2 comics, one besides mine, I think that is in crowdfunding stage.
Wow, busy guy.
Yeah, but I mean,
Talented
he
dude,
he
I'm not
works
surprised.
he works so fast that it's not that big of a deal for him. I think to just knock out the pages.
It doesn't. So you haven't noticed any slowdown, even though with him working too. It's just been going faster and faster. I guess is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem, and I see that he's always looking for stuff too. So, I try and throw stuff his way just because I know that he can definitely handle it, and my stuff's still gonna get done.
He's a talented guy, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
very
sure.
talented guy. Oh, we forgot something. Go back to the first page. There's actually a little wicked Easter egg in the first page.
I was actually just wondering about that myself. I was wondering if we'd passed it. Let's see here. Okay. Dum, da, da, dum. What do we have here? Oops, I wish I could. Let's see. Can I zoom in? Is that zooming in?
Sporkman.
Oops.
There you go. Yeah, you got a little. So he originally had, I think, some like just regular superheroes, and this is just how flexible and talented he is. I was like, hey, can you replace those with characters of these? And I just sent him like images of Charger and Sporkman, and then like maybe 30, 40 minutes later, he's like this. And I'm like, yep.
So fun too, because you can see the little logo on the back of Charger, and you can see the little spork and the cape and the it's such just small details, but they're there and you can see them, and it's so cool. And it's so fun because I saw the original, and it was just like you press the Wicked button, all of a sudden, bam, the characters are there, and I was like, oh my god, so fun.
So this means that Nicole is a Charger and Sporkman fan. So this is her year.
She's a big fan of some awesome superheroes. It sounds like.
Yeah.
And
And then there's a little bit of foreshadowing if you go back to the page we were looking at before. I don't know if anyone's actually caught that.
Let's see. Was it this page down here?
Yeah, it's the one worth not one up when it's the flashback with his dad.
Younger Doug.
There you go.
So there's another Easter egg here.
It's not so much of an Easter egg as it is some foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. Oh, really? That's not Sporkman on the ground back there, or Charger, is it?
No. It should be like very upfront, but it's a little subtle.
Oh, I think I get it. Is it the stuffed dog there?
Yep.
You got a little stuffed wolf up in the front that's just lit up as Doug is by the light from the door. So
interesting. That is
so it changed up a little bit. That was originally a teddy bear, but I always wanted him to have some sort of like plush wolf that's tied to his childhood, because that's kind of where this originally
where the form
starts.
Of the rage puppy starts,
Yeah.
When he thinks about his childhood, he has obviously some bad memories, but he also remembers his little stuffed wolf, and so
in his car,
where the form the beast takes.
Yeah, I think that's really cool symbolism, you guys. The page here is perfect because you see the things that, like you said, the things that he was held dear are covered in light, and then in comes this looming shadowy figure who then covers him in darkness. And it's just
he had originally drawn Doug's dad, and the script never had him in the shot. And what I tried to relay to him, and I think it worked out really well, was that he's more scared of the memory than he is the person, if that makes sense.
Totally, yeah. I think that definitely comes across here. It definitely you get the emotions rather than the details.
Yeah, and it also kind of adds more of a menace than just like a person standing there too. And he did. I think he did a really good job. It wasn't exactly what I was picturing because I figured it would just be the shadow, but I really liked the effect that he put in there. So I was just like, yeah, let's keep that.
Also, what I really love too about the two panels here is that the top one, the angle that he chose to use, it's like a really interesting technique. The way he's kept all the angles, and it really heightens the sense of I don't know, just the drama of the situation, I think. And then you got the bottom panel with the figure looming over. I think just the placement of everything and the angles are just really interesting there.
And I think this was a lot of the atmosphere and style that Drew was planning to do with these panels as well.
Yeah, though, like when I saw that panel, I was like, oh, that's exactly how I was planning. Like,
Oh, that's awesome.
to do it, you know, just the same atmosphere of like if you see with the other panels, you know, you've got the white background where it's like it's gonna be, you know, if there's gonna be some stuff that goes off the edge, you know, it's white. It's gonna be the color of the paper. But for that, we want the whole page to just be black. You know, it's like this dark memory.
Wow.
So, and then you've got, you know, bits of it with the following pages, where the, you know, the edges of the pages are sort of black or sort of fading into this. You know, you've got the panels on white, but then it starts to get dark again. You know, as he starts to get into this situation that's bringing back his bad memories. And we didn't even have to tell Emilio that. He just got it. So,
Wow.
great artist.
Maybe
I will
it's
continue to sing his praises.
maybe it's some good writing.
maybe
I think it's. I think it's.
We'll
not
see
giving
how
Scott
that.
enough.
We'll see how that.
Well, I think it
That pans
definitely is.
out.
It's I think it's a combination of all three of you working together to create this
I
awesome
will
piece.
definitely agree with that. They definitely take my little scribblings and take them to the next level.
And that must be so fun for you to see, Scott.
Oh yeah, I mean that we were talking about this yesterday when we were at the con. Is part of the creative process is you don't really know what you have until it's done.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Man, these thugs look like they are not gonna, you know, they're not messing around here.
And I can assure you that is not Jay and
But they
Silent
also
Bob.
look like bombs. That's exactly what I was thinking too. Jay and Silent Bob.
I get that a lot.
I'll let you know for the record that I was not
Just
thinking that.
snippets of
I
them.
wasn't thinking that at all. So there.
The funny
There's-
thing is,
There's a bit of a
when
funny story there, yeah.
Really?
when I was writing it, I didn't even think about it until I was done and like going through the draft, and I was like, did I just write Jay and Silent Bob into my story? And I'm like, no, like not really. Like the one of them, Silent Bob talks way too much, and like it doesn't have the mannerisms. And then like you drew this thing, and I was just like, okay, we can't make these look too much like Jay and Silent Bob. And she's like, who's that?
Who's that? Oh my God, you're kidding me.
I had to show her
wild.
pictures of who Jay and Silent Bob were, so she just kind of like subconsciously drew them.
That's so funny. Wow, well, to your point, they're a little too mean to be Jay and Silent Bob, to be honest.
Yeah, well, most of the time they say, "Is this evil Jay and Silent Bob?" Or
I
like
did see
these two have
a
fallen on.
comment on Twitter that was like, Jay and Silent Bob must have fallen on hard times if they're stealing bikes, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's funny. Nice. Well, they're definitely again, they're definitely in for a surprise, I think, in the coming pages.
But yeah, we never like named them that, and we did make some, definite changes. Like, well, I don't think the big thug ever was in a trench coat, and we never gave either one of them long hair, and we definitely didn't use Jay's mannerisms, like having him say, "Give us your bike, yo."
True, that'd be a little
Or
too
like snoochie boochies,
Mm.
get the bike lunchbox. We definitely did not play
then
that up. So
we might have trouble there, legal issues if if that were the case.
We don't want any copyright, like it's like
Yeah.
it's completely unintentional. The what is it they put at the end of
Exactly.
movies, like any appearances to it's all coincidental. It's all coincidental here.
Exactly. No real people.
I never had any plans to put Jay and Silent Bob in this. It's just kind of a funny little coincidence. So
Like, yeah, I was just reading
I'm
through
all
and I was
for.
like, I have an idea for these two. You know, I want one to be kind of tall and skinny and lanky and maybe have some longish, kind of greasy-ish hair. And I think I want the other one to be, you know, a little stouter, you know, with a beard and a beanie and like a hoodie. And then I you know, sketched up the original ideas and sent them to Scott, and he was like, "Oh my goodness!" Like I didn't, like I said, I didn't know who they were. I'm a young one, I guess. I'm too young
Missed
for
out
that.
on. That's fair. That's I don't think I've seen that movie either. So that's I'll give you
I
a
think
pass on that one.
I think everyone should see Clerks at least once.
Yeah, you're right. Everyone's always told me to see that movie, so I'm sure. And then, you know, I need to see that. so so that's awesome, man. The pages are all looking great. The tiers are all looking great. Everything is just looking great. So I'm excited to see you guys are back and stuff.
Yeah, and like I said, the progress that we made in this amount of time, I think is impressive, and I'm really proud of my team and what we've threw together.
Nice. Yeah, it's pretty incredible, and you're just getting started here. I know you guys have a lot of plans for the future issues and stuff, and you just want to get this out strong and get it in people to the backers' hands. So
Yeah,
For sure.
that's definitely one of the things I thought about is having not gotten our goal is I felt like I had very little that I walked away with, besides, you know, being a little bit smarter and wiser. And so my real focus on this campaign is to get something done and into the backers' hands and start building up that trust and that fan base. So that's why we streamlined it as much as we could, so we can make that happen.
yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and I think you guys are on to a good start here on your first day. Now we haven't talked much about it, but you switched from going to Kickstarter to Indiegogo. What kind of thoughts went into that a little bit for you?
I, so the first thing is, you know, I'm trying to cut down on costs as much as possible. So
Mm-hmm.
Indiegogo did look a little bit cheaper. Another thing too is I have the option to extend if I need it.
That's a great feature, isn't it? That is a really
Yeah.
nice thing to have the option to do.
Yeah, so I have if we need it, I can give us more time, and then I can, you know, keep campaigning if I need to. The other thing is the in demand's really interesting too,
Mm-hmm.
and it might be a feature that I might leave open until we go to print.
Yeah, that is a cool feature, right? Yeah.
One thing I will say, and I put this in the campaign, is if you like the variant cover, you got to get that during the live campaign. If we go to in demand, it's just going to be standard issue only.
Sorry, so say that again.
So the variant cover, if you like the variant cover, you got to get it while the campaign is live and active. If
I
it goes
see.
into a print in demand, you're only going to have the option for the standard cover.
So it's just gonna be an exclusive just for this campaign only.
Correct.
That's
It's
nice.
I went over that in the Kickstarter as well. Is the whole idea behind the variant is it's our way of doing like a special thank you to the people that, you know, backed us when we were just starting out, and so they get something truly unique and special out of the campaign.
And those are the ones that are being signed as well. So you get a double bonus with that.
Yes. I'm lucky that I'm nearby where the books get delivered, so we can make that happen.
Exactly. Yeah, we're gonna be getting those safely delivered to you guys, and yeah, it'll be nice to just be able to get those signed for you. That's a really cool thing that we are actually able to do. Now, you guys are also holding a fan art contest. Is that right?
Oh,
That's
right.
right.
I almost forgot. You need to announce that. It's been such a crazy day. Thank you for bringing that
You're
up.
welcome.
So we are going to pick our 4 favorites. Drew and I are going to judge that. The idea is, and it's usually art contests are, draw one of the characters in your style or in this particular circumstance. I want to do something a little bit different with this and kind of put the creativity into the artist's hands. So the idea that I want to put out there to any artist that wants to participate is draw what your inner rage creature would look like.
That's so fun. I just love that, man.
Doug has the rage puppy.
And maybe it
We wanna
doesn't have
know
to
what-
be a rage puppy. Maybe if you wanna, you'd be like, man, I had something really sad happen, or what would your kind of like
Hashtag sad puppy. Oh
sad
no.
puppy? No, but like just to say as an example, like you don't have to if you feel like for Doug, his backstory is like this rage that's in his past, this frustration with something that's happened to him. So we definitely want to open it up to people. If they feel like they have a better idea, it's like, I mean, I feel like everyone's probably got something that in their past they're angry about that they can pull some inspiration from, but
Probably
some people
true,
may
yeah.
have something that resonates with them more. And as much as we kind of goof around about it being the rage puppy, like this is a pretty serious story that's going to have some kind of like darker kind of I don't want to say too deep, but like there's definitely going to be some emotional and psychological issues addressed in the comic. So like if you feel like there's something that you want to express in your creature, we encourage people to go ahead.
Nice. So you're gonna give them creative freedom to do what they want to do.
What's that negative emotion in your past or in your that you kind of suppress or try to fight back that if it were to bubble out, what would it look like? So
wow. What was that, Scott? Did we lose Scott here? Scotty, beam me up, Scotty. But no, I think that sounds like a lot of fun. I for one have been really interested in the contest for a while because I just think it's such an interesting idea of seeing what people's creatures are going to be.
Yeah, and I've definitely considered. Oh, you're back! Yay!
Okay. So, like I was saying, it could for some people it could be like their anxiety or their depression, and we want to see how you kind of pictured that if it had the ability to come out and take on its own form.
And I've definitely been considered. I'm obviously not entering the contest, but I've definitely considered, as helping promote the contest, drawing something of my own. So I'll have to put some thought into that.
That's gonna be fun.
Yep.
I can't wait to see that.
So we'll pick our 4 favorites. It is one stipulation: it has to be safe for work.
Fair, yeah. I don't think we want to see any not safe for work creatures anyway. I'm not sure we want to go there. Let's leave that for another
Don't want to
extreme.
open the box.
Exactly.
Open the box too wide there.
Yeah, the Pandora's box. That's right, man.
But we are going to pick our 4 favorites, and they're going to be on the back and side cover.
Wow, that's so fun. So that you actually get to be part of the book. Your creation, if you're chosen, gets to be part of the book.
Yep.
So cool.
And then once we get all the chapters done and we do the trade paperback, we'll probably have a section, dedicated to stuff like that. Some fan art, some concept art. We definitely want to say thank you to all the people who supported us.
That's cool. So that'll be a lot of fun bonus material at the end there. Now, creatures. So when is the rage or other emotional creature? When is your inner creature due? What is there a due date at this time?
So you got to get it in before our closing stream. So I would probably say, let me look at a calendar here real quick.
And we'll be making like an official post about this with all the rules and stuff.
Cool.
Do probably like a Google Docs write-up that people can, view all the rules since, Twitter has a character limit.
Damn character limit.
So I would say
Yeah.
like the Friday the 11th.
of October.
Yeah.
Okay. And that, as you said, is nearing the end of the stream or the end of the campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that's cool.
another thing I want to say is like Scott and I still have to discuss like all the final criteria for judging, but you do not have to be a fantastic artist to enter. In fact, like, we just encourage anyone who has any interest in entering to enter, because that we're doing this as sort of like a thank you, and that it will be discussed, as like, well, we think, it may not be the most beautiful piece of art, but the concept here is really cool, we don't want people to think that like the 4 that get into the book are going to be the 4 most artistically sophisticated. There's more that's going to go into the judging than just that.
Nice.
So you're
Nice. So
saying
even if
I could draw for it.
You could. I mentioned
can't.
that I
You're
was
the
thinking about
creator.
drawing my creature just as sort of a promotion for the contest.
Exactly.
So maybe
you can
you
be a
should do it, Scott.
promotion, Scott. You can draw yours as a promotion.
I'm really
Don't-
self-conscious about my drawing, so
Hey, I
I
get
don't
that.
think we're going to see that.
Hey, actually, you should. You really should, because Jack Irons. Haven't you ever seen the original Jack Irons sketch? That's by Cody. If you can do that, then I think you can give us a little something.
Come on, Scott.
The way I draw, I can't do original stuff. I'm so okay at copying
Here's what you
what's
do.
already in front of me.
Copy a picture of some sort of creature and then add on features that make it a rage creature.
It's gonna be so obvious that I like drew something onto it. They're like,
care. Just trace it, man. Just trace.
no, I don't trace. That's cheating.
But I wanted to say, Brett in the chat says, "Sad Puppy." Isn't that a band? I don't know.
And I corrected him. It's Skinny Puppy.
Oh, Skinny Puppy. That's what that means. Nice. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
I had to think about it though. I'm like, what was that '90s band? Oh yeah, Skinny Puppy.
Hey, now we have our musical reference. Now we're good to go, I think, on that front.
Oh yeah, that's right. Who was asking about that
Yeah,
earlier?
someone was asking about that.
0 out of 10. There you go, Skinny Puppy.
Oh man, but that's awesome. So how are your coming weeks? As you start to dive into the thick of this campaign, how are you getting ready for it?
Well, Drew's got some. Yeah, Drew's going on a little bit of a hiatus there. She's definitely earned that.
Yeah,
I'm actually going on. I'm not really going on a little bit of vacation, but I actually have a little bit of vacation time coming up. My sister's coming to visit me, and she hasn't been to Seattle before, so I'm gonna show her the town, and I'll get some nice R&R, and then come back to the project refreshed.
That's cool. Yeah, that's always good to get a little time off from things. Are you gonna take her to the Space Needle?
So, fun fact, I have actually never been up in the Space Needle myself. It's expensive. It's expensive to go up in
there.
The Space Needle. So
I don't even live there.
Well,
I guess it's a tourist thing to do. I guess, huh? That's like a very touristy thing.
No, you go to the Space Needle. I've done the Mopop Museum, the Museum of Pop Culture that's near
fun.
the Space Needle.
Yeah.
I was actually there when they had this really cool exhibit on Marvel comics and the Marvel Cinematic Universe and all things
so cool.
Marvel. So they had stuff from like the original comics to the some of the older TV shows, and then they had stuff from like the more recent films. Ton of costumes from the films, and then like the Netflix Daredevil series, they had some costumes from that. So it was really cool to see all of the costumes from the films and stuff. And it's also kind of funny to see you're like, oh, that costume's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. Like, so-and-so's a lot shorter than they let you believe.
That's
I'm pretty sure Robert Downey Jr. is like pretty short in actuality. Like in some of the scenes, they had him like standing on the crates and stuff because he's just consistently so much shorter than some of the other actors. So it was kind of funny and neat to see that, but it was definitely really cool. So if anyone here is ever in Seattle, I highly suggest the Museum of Pop Culture.
Nice.
Isn't the pop store there as well?
Not at the Museum of Pop Culture. They do have some pop figurines, but I do think there is a pop store somewhere in Seattle. I just don't know where it is.
I can't remember.
Like pop
Funko
figurines.
Pop? Yeah.
Yeah, Funko Pop.
Yeah,
That's the one.
Scott, did you tell her about all the Funkos we saw at the convention yesterday?
So many.
Wall
so
full
many.
of them.
There are a lot.
Yeah,
Maybe
really.
one day we'll have like a custom Doug Funko Pop made.
Oh man, can you do custom figures?
So people you can actually go online. People will on Etsy and stuff will you can buy Funko Pop bases. So people will make custom Funko Pops for people. I've actually seen
really
a couple at conventions that people had made and they're selling special at the conventions.
Wow.
So it's
We need to get some
pretty
wicked
neat.
ones going. Some Dougs and Nicoles and Rage puppies.
Yeah, I've actually seen a couple of the bigger crowdfundings. There's someone I haven't pinned him down, but he does them for some of the bigger crowdfunding ones.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that'd be something to look into for sure. That's a fun route avenue. I didn't even think about that. Now, Brett says Drew and I are in the state. Wow, cool. He says he's down in Tacoma.
Oh, hey, yeah. I have not been there since I've been. I was in the Bellevue Redmond area for a while, and now I'm actually up in North Seattle, so that's pretty cool.
Bellevue.
We were actually talking about that yesterday because Michael was talking about sometime going up to a con up there, and we were thinking of all the people that could show up, and we're like, Brett's up there,
City
Jeremy's up there.
Exactly, yeah.
Guys can all come up and visit for Emerald City Comic Con.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to that one.
It was happening at a weird time this past year, so I didn't get to go. But there's also PAX West out here. That was actually recently. There's some cool stuff if the con circuit's where you want to be.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about maybe doing Emerald Comic Con next year because I want to go up and meet some of the Wicked crew up there up in Washington. So I'm planning to do that next year, hopefully, and then maybe even New Mexico to check out Cody. But that'd be cool. Yeah. By then we'll definitely have Wrath out on the table, so we'll be able to get that out to people at conventions too.
Yeah, it'd be super cool.
Right? Oh man, that's exciting.
So maybe if you live up in that area, you can get yours signed by Drew, possibly.
You can bring your copy, and if you've already got it signed by Scott, you can. Yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to come to Seattle, I'll sign it for you. But you gotta come. You gotta come to me. I'm not going anywhere.
Again, no paying for the travel. Just so we're clear here. That's on you.
That's on you, our loyal fans.
But yeah, right. Seriously.
But I would honestly be super tickled if someone was like, "I'm such a big fan of Wrath. Will you sign my book?" Like if I'm at a Barnes and Noble or something like that, just skimming through the comics section, just I recognize you.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that would be a cool moment there. I wouldn't doubt if Brett would be the first one to do that. So Drew said he says, Drew, you and I got to do a book signing, even over at Purchase Store someday. He's in Washington.
Alrighty, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know Perch was in Washington, but yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
For some reason, I thought he was in Utah.
Yeah, but maybe I'll go visit Purchase Store next year when I go up to Washington for the con if I'm able to get down there. Hopefully, me and Matt can both make it down. I know we both try to go to the big ones that we do, and but yeah. Have you guys, either of you been? I know Scott, you had obviously had experience yesterday, but have you been to a convention before, Drew?
Oh yeah, totally. When I was in high school and a little bit when I was in college, I went to a lot of conventions locally where I was over down in Georgia and Tennessee. So I've been if you're in that area, that's the con circuit I used to do, like Dragon Con, MomoCon, MTAC.
Oh, okay.
Some of those stuff.
I've heard of those ones, yeah.
Yeah, so I obviously haven't been in a while, and then of course when I was in Chicago for college, I didn't go to any of the cons in Chicago because they always fell at ASIN was during finals or right after finals, and I just was always completely dead. And then C2E2 was always a week that was like midterms, and so it was like the 2 weeks that I could not. It's like finals and midterms. It's like, why do the conventions have to be now? So
That
one day
sounds
I'll
pretty
go
funny,
back
yeah.
to I'll go back to Chicago and go to the conventions once I don't live there anymore.
Yeah, it's how it always goes. Like, you get too busy, and then you can't find time for stuff like that anymore. It's tough,
Yeah,
but that's fun. It'll be cool if you guys could even go to a convention together, one day, and help promote the book.
yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pull Emilio up on like FaceTime on an iPad or something
Yeah,
like that.
you could. I feel like it's like from a TV show. You get him like a little robot with wheels, and you stick his iPad at the top, and he controls it on the other side. He
It's
can
got a
walk
little.
around.
It's got a little signature arm.
Exactly. Yeah, he can actually sign it for you on his end. Look,
A little
I'm
a little
signing.
stamp, a little stamp that just
Yeah, there you go.
stamp style
Bong.
signature.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I know. I know you wanted to get Emilio onto a stream sometime, so maybe we can get Ebi to translate for us, and
Well,
that'd be fun.
I did approach him about that.
Mhm.
Apparently, he's not a big fan of doing streams and speaking on streams. So
Maybe a written interview
um,
for the magazine would be cool.
yeah, maybe
It's possible.
I
Who
can
knows?
see if he's open to that.
Yeah,
But
worth.
I get where he's coming from. It's pretty intimidating to go on these, especially if you're not comfortable.
No, yeah, I get that too. Yeah.
We did manage to pick up another backer, so thank you.
Woo!
If it was anyone here on the stream.
Thanks, whoever did that. You're awesome. You're making it happen.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna put down the link again here for if you're watching. So go back it right now. They need your support and make this thing happen. And they, I think,
12% for day one is not bad.
not at all. Yeah, you're on your
that's
way.
pretty good.
Especially you have what 30 days right now.
Yep, 30 days. I did notice that with a smaller campaign, when you get like those little jumps in the beginning, it does pull your campaign to the front page too, which is something that we didn't get with the Kickstarter.
Oh, that's cool. Man, there's some really interesting features there. Yeah. Nice. I'm glad to see. It seems that choosing Indiegogo this time around seems to be helping in certain
Yeah,
aspects.
if you
So.
actually go on Indiegogo Explore Comics, nothing else, just the Explore Comics. We are the 7th comic on there, at least for
Whoa.
me, on trending. So that's pretty
And
awesome. Especially
that
since some
has
of the
to
other
do.
comics have like huge budgets. It's really neat to see that.
Oh, that is
Yeah, and
really cool. Yeah.
it has to do with the and Kickstarter does do this too. It's just we had a higher goal, so it's based on how much percentage we're getting based on time.
So what I'm
So because
understanding, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what I'm understanding is if the more people were backing it quickly, the more it's going to stay up there.
Yeah, more
Yep,
people see it.
it's a momentum game. Also, the thing that got us here is because we have a much smaller budget. Even just 6 backers, even like a good significant one, bumped us into this same field of view.
And so here we have the comics page of the Explorer, and you see there's some comics here at the top, and then if you scroll down, we see that Wrath is right here on the left. Next to some pretty cool comics. You're in good company here.
Yeah, I'm right below Blake Northcott.
That's a pretty good spot to be, man. I like the look of that. Well, that's really cool, man. I like to see that kind of stuff. That's awesome, man. Wow. So, well, that's cool, man. Switching things up and changing you guys have retooled your campaign, and as someone said earlier, streamlined it, and you guys are ready to tackle it. And I think you guys are gonna make it. I'm pretty confident in this campaign.
For
So
sure, yeah.
we'll see it rise up as the days continue to go on. That's gonna be exciting. So,
Yep.
is there anything? I think we're getting close to the end of our time together here. Is there anything else you just want to put out there for your fans out there, for people who are thinking about backing the book, who may be on the fence about it?
I think we have a great idea. If you like the imagery, you like the story, then it's not too expensive a buy-in. Give us a shot. I really don't think you're going to be disappointed, and we've definitely got more story to tell if you like what you see.
Yeah, totally. And also like even if you're a little short on cash right now and supporting us financially is not something you could do, retweeting our some of Scott's tweets on Twitter, or telling your friend about it, or sharing the Indiegogo on Facebook or something like that. We are open to all sorts of support.
Yeah, exactly. We appreciate everything anyone does to even just signal boost us and share, and maybe if you're not into it, like you said, or you don't have the means right now, just help make it happen, and then you can always pick it up later from the Wicked store.
Excellent, man. That's awesome. Well, again, I'm so excited to see you guys back. So I can't wait to see where you guys take this Wrath comic and what you can do with it. Where can people follow you guys online to make sure that they can keep up to date with what you got going on?
Yeah, I'll throw my Twitter in the chat real quick. It's gonna be just my username is @Druzel_, because @Druzel is taken by a dead
Oh,
account, and
so wrong.
I have tried to get it back from Twitter. I have tried appealing to them, and so far no luck. So
Wow. Yeah, that's messed up. That is really messed up. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll put that up on the screen there. You can also follow at the link there, https://twitter.com/Druzel_. And
And then you can follow me, and I will spam you with Wrath related stuff for the next 4 weeks. At Kishkuman is my Twitter handle, and then I also have Instagram. It's Wrath graphic novel.
how's your Instagram been going along?
It's going. I don't really give it as much attention as the Twitter, but anytime I get new stuff, I always post it and just put a little thing about who did the work involved.
Nice. Give a little bit of the visual side of things. And we have that up here as well. Excellent. Well, awesome, guys. Thank you for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. Again, like I said, I'm so excited about this comic, and I know a lot of the people are going to be as well. We've already got some good backers going, so let's get this thing done, people. Go back it today. Go check it out. I think it'll be up your alley.
and the best time to back it today, other than backing it today, is backing it tomorrow. So just please back us.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Help us keep the momentum.
Exactly. Yeah. Excellent. Well, thanks again, guys. It was great talking to you, and we wish you the best of luck with your campaign. And we'll see you next time. Talk to you later,
Thank you
guys.
so
Thanks.
much.
Have a great one, guys.